This is gonna piss some people off, but have I ever said anything that doesn't? Annotating books is fucking stupid. I understand if you are reading them for a class or for like some sort of project and you need notes to come back to. However, I think dog-earing the page, writing down the page number, and then writing your notes on a separate piece of paper, much more effective because there's no room in the margins, first of all. So if there's no room in the margins, all you can write is a few words and you can't properly express yourself if you actually have thoughts to say about the book. Subsequently, everyone's annotations that I've ever read end up looking something like this. Sad. Why are you writing sad? Just feel sad. Why are you writing that down? Are you going to thumb through it and be like, where's that sad part? Maybe then I would understand it, but it's also like dog ear, if that's really the case. Also, I'm reading this book right now, and 12 Years of Slave, actually. And it seems so silly to rant about something so trivial when, like, that's the book that I'm reading, but it doesn't matter. I'm reading Catcher in the Rye. The annotations are stupid of the person that whoever owned it before me, because I buy most of my books secondhand. I'm reading Catcher in the Rye. I'm angry at this person for being stupid. I'm reading 12 Years of Slave. I'm angry. And the worst part is it's interrupting my reading. Like, I'm getting really into it. I'm, like, nauseous because it's so fucking disgusting. I'm crying because some parts are so sad. And then this dumbass is just writing off to the side in a few words exactly what's happening in the book. Why are you writing what's happening in the book? He already wrote it much more eloquently. Like, why are you writing this down? I don't understand. And I just really would like to issue a PSA. Please stop annotating books, because I might buy it after you or find it after you for free, maybe even. And I don't fucking care about your thoughts. Or here's the thing, if you're going to annotate your books, please then keep them. Don't annotate your books that you plan on giving away. It's so fucking frustrating. I've never read something interesting, witty, of importance, profound. I've never read an annotation I thought was worth it. Worth writing in the mark. There's enough words in the book. You don't need to add words. You're not smart enough to add anything to this. Please. It's their books. They can do whatever they want to them. They're my books now. Now I get to care what's going on with them. I just saw a picture of Dead Poets Society annotated and is like on the title page. Someone put the Thoreau quote about like how I wish to live. I went into the woods to live deliberately, blah, 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 to find out I had not lived. Why are you putting that in there? That quote is already written in a different book. Why are you writing it down in this book? To take a picture for Pinterest? I hope you respond very shortly. While I'm all fired up, maybe I can talk about this without crying, because I've been trying to talk about this, but every time I so much as think of it, I cry like a little baby. So maybe I will be too angry to cry right now about this. I am so sick of guys making fun of girls for having daddy issues. Like, you do not see that many people making fun of guys or girls for having mommy issues. And the thing is, daddy issues are more common because dads leave more or abuse more or die more. Like, so, of course, naturally, people are going to make fun of the thing that happens more often. But also, like, when a guy has daddy issues, you see that made fun of way less. And also, I don't think it's right to make fun of anyone for daddy or mommy issues. I don't think any parental problems should be a point of a joke unless you're the one making the joke yourself. I don't think it should be something you make fun of anyone for, because it's not your fault. And I know people get made fun of stuff that's not their fault all the time, like being short or whatever, and then there's stereotypes around being short. And like you have no control over that. I don't agree with that either. And sometimes the stereotypes are true and sometimes they're funny, but the funniest way to make fun of someone like that is you making fun of yourself. Like, it's so much funnier to have a short person make fun of themselves. Like, and it's always lands better. It's always just funnier. Like, it's never that funny to be like, oh, you have little man syndrome. And also, like, the whole, like, Napoleon thing, like, that's all fake. Like, he wasn't even that short for that time. I don't know. It's just like, for example, it's always so much funnier when gay people make gay jokes. Like, I can make jokes about being gay, and they're so funny because I'm in the community. I know gay people. I know what's actually stereotypically true about gay people, and I know what will make gay people laugh. So gay people making jokes to other gay people about gay people, funny. Like, and I'm sure it goes the same with other minorities. Like, I'm sure, like, if I made a joke about black stereotypes, it would not be funny. I'm sure of it. But I'm sure, like, I watch black, like, stand-up comedians make fun, like, or, like, poke at, like, stereotypes of black people, and it ends up being funny. Like, same with Asian people or whatever. Like, but I would never do that. So I don't understand why people make fun of people with daddy issues who do not have them, because it never lands. It's never funny. It's just rude. It's not funny. And it's not me being overly sensitive. I am overly sensitive, I'll admit that. But it's like, it's never funny. It's just like, haha, you have no dad. Now you do OnlyFans. Ha ha ha. What? Like, you're real. Why is that funny? Can you please explain the joke part of that to me? It's funny because your dad's dead? It's funny because your dad's dead and you have an OnlyFans? What is the part of that makes it funny? Haha, you are fulfilling the stereotype of people like you that I have in my head. Haha. Oh, actually, rantception. I'm gonna do a rant in the middle of this rant. People who comment OnlyFans detected, opinion rejected, gotta be the dumbest breed of fucking people, because I didn't know she had an OnlyFans till you just commented that, and now all these people, these fucking incels, are liking it, and fucking, I gotta stop using incel as an insult, because that's literally me. I'm just insulting myself when I say that. All these idiots, oops, that's also literally me, are liking the comment, driving it to the top. Now it's top comment. Now everyone who goes to the comment section of this video is going to know she has an OnlyFans. You just made her so much money. If you really hated girls with OnlyFans, the best thing you could do is scroll as fast as possible to fuck up the algorithm and make them think that people are not interested in them. But you are not only driving people, like driving the video by commenting and helping boost the analytics, you are also clicking on their profile, which boosts the analytics, and causing other people to click on her profile, which boosts the analytics. And so many of those people are gonna click that link in the bio, and then they're gonna pay her money. You are a pimp who's not even getting paid a percentage. You are pimping out this girl to no benefit. Like, you just made her so much money and you get none of it. Okay, back to daddy issues, right? I have made dad jokes. I have made dad jokes in general. I don't take things very seriously usually, but for the most part, like when you really break it down to the essentials, nothing about my daddy issues or most people's daddy issues are funny. Like when you think about what realistically goes into if you think about the history of what happened to give you those daddy issues, it's not funny. I watched my dad go deeper and deeper into alcoholism. I watched him start being physically abusive to my mom. I watched him tear apart our house. I was a victim of that to some degree as well, as was my little sister, and I had to watch that and feel like I was the one standing in between her abuser. Also felt like I was the one standing in between her and my mom, but we'll get to that a different day, and we have gotten to that slightly. But, like, I remember the last time I ever saw my dad, we had to call the cops on him and have him taken away. And before, I was crying, screaming to my mom, call the cops, call the cops, call the cops. Obviously, me now, I would never call the cops, probably, even in a domestic situation, because I'd be afraid they're going to shoot our dog. But at this time, we did not have a dog for the time being. Anyways, I'm screaming, I'm crying, call the cops, call the cops. My mom doesn't want to call the cops. She's still kind of like in love with my dad, and also she probably knows at this point the cops are trash. Like, I'm pretty sure she's known that for a long time. So I take my little sister and I hide my dad's gun under the bed because I kept thinking my dad was going to kill us. That's all I could think in my brain was my dad is going to kill us. I hid his gun and I hid my sister in the bed with me, in their bed, because I figured they would look for us in our room. So I went to their room and I hid us under the covers and I put my own body over my little sister's. So if he did get the gun or try to shoot us, he would have to go through me first, little 7-year-old me, but he'd have to go through me first. That's the last time I saw my dad. And then he killed himself because he couldn't handle my mom filing for divorce, and he couldn't handle the potential of losing custody of me and my sister, because even though he did have issues and like definitely like anger issues especially, and like violence issues with that anger, he still loved us and he still wanted us and he wanted his family. He just didn't know how to treat his family, and he didn't know how to be the person that could keep the family together, and he didn't know. But also what he did wasn't okay. But also that's the last time I saw my dad, and also that's like just a teeny piece into what has caused my daddy issues. That is one night of daddy issues. And you are going to sit there and laugh because that happened to me, and now I freaking show my ass online. And you're going to connect those two things, and maybe there's a connection. I'm not even denying that there could be a connection. I'm not even denying that if my dad was alive and also nice, maybe I wouldn't have an OnlyFans. That could be true. I think it's a harmful stereotype, and so I'm not really trying to support it, but I'm not going to deny it either. Like, I would be very interested to see a study on OnlyFans girls and their relationship with their parents. I think that would honestly be interesting to find out for certain for once. OnlyFans creators, I didn't mean to make it a gendered thing. I would love to see gender demographics in the study, though, too. I would be interested in all of that. But even if we get that study and the numbers corroborate, listen, I know that autism takes over my mouth all the time and I cannot get my words from my brain to my mouth, but why the fuck did I say corroborate? Like, corroborate? Why did I say it like that? That was a funny one. I had to point that out because that was a silly, goofy one. Your stereotype that I have an OnlyFans because my dad was shitty. What part of that is funny? Like, I just don't understand it. And I got through my rant without crying, and I'm a genius. I'm a genius for doing this rant right now while I was already angry about something trivial, and not that anything I said was genius. That was just yammering. Yammer. Also, yes, I just trauma dumped, but that was the SparkNotes version of the trauma dump because I only described one night, and I didn't even describe that whole night. I did very vaguely describe it. I was not going into detail, so actually I did really well at withholding information from you. People always, new rant, third rant of the day. Actually probably like the 15th because I was on FaceTime with a friend earlier, so I probably was doing lots of rants then. Were we mostly talking about Dungeons and Dragons? Yes. Am I gonna enter my Dungeons and Dragon era soon? Maybe. But okay, so I gotta say, a lot of people think I overshare, and I am a chronic oversharer, and I will not deny that, but that doesn't mean I don't still have restraint in some areas, and that doesn't mean I don't pick and choose what to overshare and know that I'm oversharing. I go, this is oversharing, but it's worth it to me. It's worth it to me. Or I can say, I probably shouldn't say this, but I feel like it, and I feel like the consequences are not that serious. And so I do it. But I have my limits. Like, I'm not going to say certain things about that night, at least not yet, until I decide it would be a good idea or that I don't care enough. And I'm also not going to say certain things about certain people. Like, I only really talked about my dad's side of that because he's dead and, like, what's he going to do? And also, like, fuck him. I didn't talk about my mom that much in that video because I've been trying to talk about my mom less because I've been having a lot more sympathy for my mom. But also, I don't talk about, like, my family stuff that much at all, about, like, my aunts and uncles and my grandparents. I hardly ever talk about them unless I, like, feel like they would be fine with it. And, like, I just use a lot of discernment on what I talk about, and I feel like people don't recognize that and think I can say whatever I want and, like, that I have I don't hold back at all. I do hold back. Like, okay, this was just a joke comment. I'm not mad at this comment at all. But someone was like, oh, yay, another hour-long, YouTube recommended me another hour-long video of unhinged ramblings. Was it an hour long? Yes, an hour and 18 minutes. Was it ramblings? Absolutely. Was it unhinged? No. That was so hinged, at least half hinged. I was somewhat hinged in that video, for sure. Like, how many hinges was I holding on by? A few, at least. Why is my voice doing this? I sang Tobuscus Sideburns too many times today. I know he's canceled. I'm not supporting him. I just love that. So I've been trying to heal my inner middle schooler with Minecraft parodies and such, so let her live. He wasn't canceled yet then. She didn't know yet. What am I saying? Oh, I'm hinged. Like, I'm holding myself back. I'm thinking about the consequences of my actions. I am always hinged to some degree, and I just seem unhinged because I still am so free and I still just give so little shits, but I give some shits. I really do. Oh, what is wrong with my voice? Am I getting sick? How? I haven't even been in humanity for like a week. I asked my therapist, I was like, is it bad that I've been in, that I've just been alone for 2 weeks at a time and that I don't like people and that like I'm just not into it, and also that I'm never probably gonna get a boyfriend because I'm just like not in society at all. And he said that I'm actually doing really well because what the old problem was that I used to rely on people's opinions of me too much, and more like I used to rely on other people for my worth. And now I am not relying on people. So actually it's a step in the right direction. Maybe it is too big of a step. He didn't say this, but maybe I did go too far on the other side of the spectrum, but he doesn't seem worried. And my therapist is basically my God in this life. So you can't tell me otherwise. When people comment that I'm schizophrenic, I'm like, no, I'm not. My therapist says I just have symptoms of psychosis, not schizophrenia. You're wrong. That's how I feel. I did not make a good raspberry sound. I was not. Oh, my neck. I did say that I didn't want to cry during these rants, which is true. Just because I'm just not in the mood to cry today. I already cried all morning, like very moving tears, not like self-pitying tears, because I was watching my cousin's dance competition and the lyricals, they just get me. And just, so I have cried enough today, and that's the reason why I don't want to cry. I'm just putting a cap on my crying for the day because I don't need it. But I am not like trying to not cry because I'm embarrassed of crying or like I'm afraid of crying on the internet. We all know I'm not. And I just want to let you know, the comments telling me not to cry are not getting to me. I'm never going to stop crying on the internet. I've been doing it long before my YouTube channel, to tell you the truth. I cry all the time on my Snapchat story, and I was usually jokes too. That's what people don't understand, is half the time I cry, it's for the joke. Anyway, because it's funny sometimes. Anyway, I would like to say though, I saw a comment on someone else's crying video the other day, and they were crying happy tears over a bird being cute, and it was just such a wholesome, cute video. And then some loser comes to the comments and says, can we just agree to stop posting videos of us crying on the internet? Yes, it's natural, but so is shitting, and you don't need to post videos of you shitting. Speak for yourself. Do you know how much money I have made off of videos of me shitting? I don't do them anymore, so please do not hit me up for the custom content. But those are big money makers. And also, there's a whole subreddit. It's poop, r/poop. And people post their poops for various different reasons. I accidentally stumbled upon that once when I had a poop question. Open r/poop. Oh my God, a picture of poop. And then I realized the subreddit was full of them. People can post their poop. People can post them in the act of pooping. It depends on the terms of service for each site, of course. Like, sites do get to control those sorts of things. But you don't get to control what someone posts unless you make your own site where no one gets to cry. How about you do that? If you're so smart, if you're so enlightened, why don't you or someone you know make a platform and you make it against the terms of service to cry? Until you do that, I'm not joining that, first of all. But I was going to say, until you do that, I will be crying on the internet. But until you do that, and after the fact that you do that, I will be crying on the internet. And also, I don't know. Also, respawn post haste. I forgot to say something in the daddy issues rant. Something that I find very upsetting about it is, like, it's not my fault, and I meant to go into that, but then I got lost in the rant about short people and black people and how you're really only... How scary. How you're only really allowed to make fun. I know, it's just fuzzy. Anyway, how you're only allowed to make fun of yourself. But what I was trying to get at with the whole, like, it's not your fault thing is, I thought for so long that it was my fault. For so long, I thought my dad killing himself was my fault. I felt like it was my responsibility to keep him alive. I thought it was my fault that my dad died. And then I played Charlie with my friend, and it said that it was my dad, and I answered all these questions that only my dad could know, I guess, unless it was a demon who could read my mind. but it's questions only my dad would know. And if you know Charlie, you know it's not like a Ouija board where the other person can control it, and even if she was controlling it, she could not be the one answering those questions because she wouldn't know the answer. Anyway, so Charlie pencil sticks. Mexican. Oh wait, no, we didn't play Charlie. We tried to play Charlie and it failed. I meant the Mexican pencil game. We were playing the Mexican pencil game. And anyways, I asked him, I was like, "Did you kill yourself because of me?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I freaked the fuck out because I'd already felt so much guilt. Like, since I was 7, I thought my dad killed him. So, like, I thought it was my job to keep him alive. Like, I was like, we should never call the cops. My mom should have never got a divorce. If I would have chosen my dad also, like, and went with him or something, then he wouldn't have killed himself. And I invented this memory, or at least my mom says I invented it. She could be gaslighting me, but I remember when the cops came, like, him talking to me and him being like, "Please stay with me. Like, please go with me. Like, please come with me." And he was crying. But that could have happened. My mom doesn't deny that happened. What she denies is the way that I interpret it in my head is I had a choice. I thought as a kid that I had a choice, and I chose between my mom and my dad, and I chose my mom. And that killed me. That crushed my soul. And I could not live a day without feeling so guilty for choosing my mom over my dad, and then my dad killing himself. Apparently, I would have never been allowed to go with him anyways, which seems accurate to me. I feel like my mom is telling the truth when she says that. So, sorry for putting you through that bad lighting. Was not my main focus. Anyway, as I say, later I did decide that what my dad meant through the pencil sticks, since you can only say yes or no, what he meant is being without me and my sister, being without us, was really hard on him. And so he killed himself because he missed us so much, and because he didn't want to live without us. That is how I have chosen to interpret it now. I have worked through a lot of guilt, and so it's very upsetting to me when people make me feel guilty about my dead dad, because I already dealt with so much guilt surrounding my dad that I don't want to think about it anymore, and I don't want to feel guilty anymore. And when you say, "Haha, your dad's dead," and you have an OnlyFans, it has guilt associated with it, and I don't feel guilty for having an OnlyFans, but I do struggle with that sometimes. But you're saying I should feel guilty for having an OnlyFans, and also kind of implying that I should feel guilty about my dad being dead, or like implying that it's my fault, or like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Does this make any sense? I don't really care. But I mean, he was definitely right with the pencil sticks and saying yes. Like, it definitely was over me and my sister, because it was like, I was there actually in the kitchen while my mom was on the phone with him. And he was like, "Please remove the restraining order. Please let me see my kids. Let me at least come to the recital. Can you please just let me come to the piano recital?" And she's like, "No, and because if I let you, I'll also be in trouble with the law and stuff, because there was a restraining order." And he's like, "Fine, then I'm going to crash." He literally said, "I'm going to crash my car into the next car I see." That is so mean. I'm so related to him. This drawer that I have not really touched since over a long time, over 10 years. I still have my Hannah Montana cards in here, and me writing down what songs I wanted my mom to allow me to download onto my iPod. I was like, "Mom, can I please buy these songs? They're 99 cents. Back in the day. Oh my gosh, there's a poker chip. I literally don't touch this drawer. This drawer is a relic. And inside this drawer that I just pulled out is that my sister and I made for Father's Day for my dad. And they're so fucking funny. He is 8 feet tall and he weighs 80 pounds. I just said that because 8 was my favorite number at the time. His favorite color is green. That was true. His name was not Braden. Anyways, feed X. He eats spaghetti. His favorite thing to drink is Gatorade. I remember writing this, and I remember thinking, I can't say beer. I'm going to get in trouble if I say beer, so I said Gatorade. Which is true, he did love yellow Gatorade. His favorite show is Fat Bowl. My dad licks to whack TV. This is so sad, because what was I saying? Did I say, I don't know. Like, it's like, I love my dad because what? And you can tell I wrote over something. This is sad. This is very sad. And then this is my drawing. And then there's my little handprint. That's how big my hand was. And not even a year after this is when he died. So that's sad. I think that was my handprint. That was the size of my hand when my dad died. This is my sister. She couldn't write, so they wrote it for her. But he's 4, like me, years old. He's 1 feet tall and he weighs 2 pounds. But then my sister said his favorite thing to drink is beer. Classic. She was not afraid. My sister loved beer though. She loved to have sips. My dad likes to paint. I don't think he's ever painted once. Ouch. And that's her drawing. And that's how small her little hand was. And the reason for me showing you these is because he brought these up here himself. I did not bring these up here. These were brought up by him because he used to come here to the cabin when he is feeling suicidal or so angry or like he just couldn't be around people. And he would run away to up here and he wouldn't tell anyone and people would have to come find him. And anyways, he brought these with him, and I think it's canon that he was reading over these trying not to kill himself, and he brought these up here to try to remember that he had 2 kids that loved him, and so he couldn't kill himself. And I think I know him well enough to know that that's exactly what he was doing, is looking over these trying not to kill himself. And so I don't think he would kill himself because of me, and I don't feel guilty for why he killed himself. I think I was one of the only things keeping him tethered to this planet, honestly. I think the only things keeping him tethered to this planet were, like, me and my sister and my grandpa, his dad. I'm pretty sure he thought my grandma could fuck off. Then maybe I'm just projecting, though. But I remember things. I do remember things, even though everyone likes to act like I was too young to remember things. I think 7 is plenty old enough to remember things, and anyways, but that's so funny, isn't it? Isn't it so funny that I have an OnlyFans? My mom and my sister are on another trip without me because they never invite me to go to their trips and concerts and stuff because I'm a Debbie Downer. And I'm just proving them right for not inviting me right now because they're out partying. And what am I doing? Ranting. Raving. Have fun, guys. 3-ply cord is not easily broken. Untruer words have never been spoken. Feels like our 3-ply cord's more of a trauma bond than an anchor or something I can use to pull me back. Sure, I don't think it's that strong anymore. You look like me and sound like me too, but I couldn't wanna be less like you, so I keep my voice down. And I wince when I smile or when I frown, 'cause no matter what I do, I just remind me of you too. When I yell, when I talk, when I sing, when I walk, when I smoke or drink, but I don't drive like you do. Maybe I do. Oh, how am I gonna learn to love and compromise through hate and black eyes and telling each other lies? Oh, how am I gonna ease Yeah, definitely not doing another take. I'm going to watch iCarly. I have a hard time doing retakes of songs because it feels like a lie. Like, I feel like if I redo the song and then pretend like that's like me doing the song, that's just a lie. It just feels so fake and pretend the whole second take. I feel like I'm putting on some show and I hate it. And I also hate retaking videos and editing videos because that feels like a lie. I cut something out, it feels like a lie. I think also partly why I have a problem oversharing is I feel like omission of certain facts is also lying, or omission of anything is being fake. And people are like, oh, you're so real. I'm like, I have a disease. I have a disease where every time I try to lie, I get possessed by the spirit of Immanuel Kant.